You! This is a private gallery. Leave immediately.
Private? The sign says open. I came to see the paintings.
Kenta, escort this man out. He stinks of turpentine.
Come with me, sir.
So this is how Ginza Vermilion treats a visitor. A place that sells beauty but has none in its own walls.
But just before the exit, he paused before a large canvas. His own work, Twilight at Enoshima. Itsuki pulled a worn sketchbook from his pocket and began to draw. With swift, practiced strokes, the signature on the sketchbook matched the one on the canvas, the mark of the anonymous genius they had been chasing for 2 years.
That signature. It's the same as on the painting. The anonymous artist. I just threw him out.
Outside, the shabby visitor walked away without a backward glance, leaving behind a gallery in chaos.
Please wait. I brought you some water. It's the least I can do after how she treated you.
Thank you. But you don't have to apologize for her.
That sketch you made inside, I saw the signature. It's identical to the one on the painting.
It's the same because I painted it. Twilight at Enoshima is my work.
You're the anonymous artist? But then, she just threw out the man she's been desperate to find.
Inside the gallery, Tomoko's hands trembled as she dialed her dealer, Hiroshi.
Hiroshi, the anonymous painter was here. I had security remove him. His signature on a sketchbook matches the canvas.
You ejected the one artist we've chased for 2 years? Tomoko, do you realize how catastrophic this is?
Can you reach him? Apologize. Offer anything without his paintings. This gallery collapses.
I'll try to contact him. But if he refuses to work with us again, the damage is done. I can't force his hand.
Hiroshi ended the call with Tomoko and immediately dialed the number on file for the anonymous artist.
This is Hiroshi, your dealer. We need to talk urgently. Can you come to my office today?
Across town, Itsuki answered, his voice carrying no surprise or anger.
I've been expecting this call. What is there to discuss? Your client had security drag me out like a trespasser.
That was inexcusable, but we can make this right. A formal apology, a solo exhibition, anything to keep your art at Vermilion.
Itsuki didn't sit. He stood rigidly, his paint-stained clothes a silent rebuke.
No exhibition will erase today. I want every canvas removed from that gallery by tomorrow morning. My terms are final.
Hiroshi started to protest, but the look on Itsuki's face silenced him. The termination agreement was signed without another word. Minutes later, the call came. Hiroshi's voice flat, delivering the verdict to Tomoko.
Every painting, gone. The works that made Vermilion matter, ripped away because I judged a man by his shirt.
Tomoko replayed the security footage, frame by frame. She froze at the image of Yui offering a glass to the artist.
So the junior assistant aided him after I had clearly ordered him out. She's been disloyal from the start.
She summoned Yui to her office immediately. The lavender-haired girl entered, still holding a dusting cloth.
You were seen handing water to that vagrant. Vermilion presents a pristine image. Your actions undermined it.
He was a visitor, a guest. I only gave him water. Was that so wrong?
Yes, you're fired. Collect your things and leave now. Consider it a lesson in knowing your place.
Minutes later, Yui walked out of the gallery, a small cardboard box containing 3 years of her life under one arm.
I only wanted to support real art, but a gallery that throws out its own artist won't last.
Itsuki, there's something else. The assistant who gave you water, Tomoko fired her on the spot.
She lost her job because of me. I can't leave her with nothing. I need to find her.
Itsuki found her at a small park near the gallery, the cardboard box on the grass beside her.
Yui-san, I heard what happened, getting fired for showing kindness to me. I'm sorry.
Please don't. I gave you that water because you deserved basic respect. Tomoko never understood that. Actually, I've known your work for years. 3 years ago, I saw a tiny exhibition in Shimokitazawa. One painting stopped me cold, Twilight at Enoshima. I tracked down your dealer, Hiroshi, and begged him to meet you.
That was you. All this time, I assumed a collector found me, but it was a gallery assistant who really saw.
I believed in your art when no one else did. I still do. That hasn't changed.
Then work with me. I'm pulling my art from Ginza. I want to open a place where talent speaks louder than labels.
You trust me as your curator? I don't know what to say. Yes, I'm in.
For the first time that day, the empty bench felt like a foundation broken, but strong enough to build on. 3 days later, Itsuki and Yui roamed Shimokitazawa's back streets, searching for a place where art could breathe.
Look, an old community hall. Big windows. No pretense. It's perfect.
This floor will hold a lot of stories. Every scratch feels like a promise.
The lease was signed that afternoon, half a month's rent in Ginza, but with no guarantee of success. They started the next morning. Yui swept while Itsuki scrubbed walls, their laughter echoing off the bare concrete. A week later, Hiroshi arrived, gazing at the half-painted walls and makeshift shelving with a dubious expression.
This neighborhood is for indie bands, not million-yen paintings. Are you certain this is wise?
Art doesn't need chandeliers. It needs honest eyes. This place will have exactly that.
At Vermilion, Tomoko hastily filled the empty walls with student works, but the absence of twilight was deafening.
A community space in Shimokitazawa? It'll fold in a month. Then he'll have to come crawling back.
Late one night, after the paint had dried, Yui pulled a worn sketchbook from her bag.
I tried to paint once. Filled pages but never finished anything. It's embarrassing.
Show me. Every artist starts somewhere messy. The lines matter more than the final polish.
She opened the sketchbook to a landscape raw but alive. Isuki studied it, then smiled.
These lines are honest. That's rarer than technique. You should try again.
They spent the next hour arranging the exhibition layout, hanging string lights and moving imaginary walls. A local art blog ran a headline the next morning, "Anonymous Genius to Reveal Identity in Shimokitazawa." The post went viral. Tomoko saw it and smashed her coffee cup against the wall, shards scattering.
A community space? He's cheapening his brand. The public will forget him by winter.
The opening date was set. The quiet rebellion had a name, and the art world began to listen. Opening night. The little Shimokitazawa space glowed with string lights, the air humming with curiosity and cheap champagne.
Welcome, everyone. Please take your time and let the work speak for itself.
Then the door swung open and the chatter dipped. Ogawa, the critic who had unmade careers, stepped inside. She stopped before a seascape, her lips pursed. Without turning, she spoke just loud enough to silence the room.
The brushwork is competent, but competent is cheap. Who is behind these canvases?
Itsuki, standing near a pillar, took a quiet breath and stepped into the light.
You're the anonymous one? Bold to step out of the shadows. But fame built on mystery fades fast. Rumor says you were thrown out of a Ginza gallery. Are you an artist or just a well-dressed grudge?
I don't paint grudges. I paint what I see. If you have a real question, I'll answer it.
Ogawa tapped her clipboard, a thin smile spreading. The room held its breath. This opening had just become a trial.
A grudge can fake a signature. How do we know you aren't just a clever imposter?
Itsuki didn't answer with words. He walked to the center of the room and set up a blank canvas. He picked up a brush, dipped it in blue, and made the first stroke without hesitation. The room fell so silent, you could hear the bristles drag across the linen. 20 minutes later, a miniature twilight at Enoshima bloomed. The same sea, the same aching light. The crowd leaned in. Some held their breath. Others wiped their eyes.
This style, it's undeniable. He painted that canvas himself. The technique is identical.
That's him. That's always been him.
Where did you study? Who taught you this?
Her clipboard hung forgotten. The verdict had shifted from accusation to fascination, but she hadn't given her blessing yet.
I've doubted 100 artists. You are the first to prove me wrong in a single stroke.
The room erupted. Yui clapped until her palms stung, tears tracing her smile. Someone had been live streaming. The miniature Twilight and Ogawa's surrender spread across screens in real time. In her dark office, Tomoko watched the broadcast. Her reflection in the monitor was a mask of disbelief.
This isn't possible. That shabby nobody. He's humiliating me in front of the entire industry.
A well-dressed collector stepped forward and offered 5 million yen for the live piece, on the spot.
This painting isn't for sale. It belongs to the gallery, and to everyone who believed before the applause.
The refusal only elevated him. The crowd murmured, not at the lost sale, but at the integrity.
He refused millions? This changes nothing. I'll find a way to ruin him.
The gallery was a fortress now, built of paint and defiance, and the world had seen it. Long after the last guest left, Itsuki stacked chairs, while Yui swept confetti into neat mounds.
I never thought I'd feel this whole. Like I finally have a place.
This gallery is as much yours as mine. You built it just as much.
They stepped onto the rooftop, the city lights flickering below like scattered applause.
3 years ago, I was just a girl with a sketchbook. You gave me a reason to believe?
I want to tell her how much she means to me, but not yet. Not until I can give her more than a rooftop.
His hand hovered over hers on the railing, but he pulled away, the silence filling the space between them. Across town, Tomoko's phone buzzed. An investor had withdrawn, citing reputational damage from the viral scandal.
Not you too. Without the capital, I can't even keep the lights on.
The last major client followed. Vermilion's door would soon carry a permanent closed sign unless she acted fast. A major art magazine featured Itsuki and Yui on its cover. From rejection to revolution, the anonymous artist who toppled Ginza.
Look, they printed the whole story. Tomoko's name is in every paragraph.
So it's public. No more hiding. I should feel triumphant. But all I feel is tired.
Tomoko found the article on her desk the next morning. Her last investor's letter was clipped to the page.
They've all fled. The gallery is empty. Even the student works are being reclaimed.
By noon, she was pulling canvases off the walls herself, wrapping them in brown paper.
That street kid I threw out. He didn't just take the paintings, he took the whole dream.
It's strange. I thought I'd feel more satisfaction, but I just see a woman who lost everything because she couldn't see past a dirty shirt.
Maybe she'll learn. But that's not our weight to carry. We gave art a home.
Outside the shuttered Vermilion, a permanently closed sign reflected the afternoon sun. Inside, Tomoko packed the last of her empire into a single crate. Tomoko appeared at the Shimokitazawa Gallery early one morning, her burgundy hair unkempt and her suit wrinkled.
I need to speak with you. Both of you.
Itsuki set down his paintbrush, his posture calm but guarded.
I'm offering you a partnership, half ownership. We can restart Vermilion, together.
You think I'd trade what we built here for a piece of the gallery that humiliated me? No.
Yui stepped out from behind the counter, her voice steady but carrying 3 years of silenced belief.
3 years ago, I championed this artist. I brought his work to you. You trashed it and called it hobby work. You never saw talent, only labels.
Tomoko's jaw tightened, but no defense came. She looked like a woman finally seeing herself.
Leave, Tomoko. This gallery doesn't exist to salvage a reputation.
She walked out without another word, the door closing with a hollow click that swallowed the last of her pride. Weeks after Vermilion's closure, a letter bearing the seal of the Metropolitan Art Museum arrived at the Shimokitazawa Gallery.
They want a 30-piece solo exhibition, a retrospective. The museum said my name opens doors now.
The Metropolitan. Itsuki. This is the dream we talked about on the rooftop.
This will cement your place in the art world permanently. Even I didn't expect it to happen so fast.
Preparations began. The old community space would host his biggest work yet before the museum's grand halls. Across the city, Tomoko stood behind a convenience store register, her burgundy hair pulled into a simple ponytail.
Minimum wage. No gallery, no connections. At least it keeps the shame out of sight.
2 customers at the magazine rack spoke just loud enough for her to hear. Did you see? That anonymous painter, Itsuki Sato, has a retrospective at the Metropolitan next month.
The Metropolitan, that man I threw out. Now the whole country reveres him.
The Metropolitan Art Museum was never the same after that night. Record crowds filled the halls, standing shoulder to shoulder beneath canvases that whispered of Enoshima's twilight.
3 years ago, a girl saw a painting in a tiny Shimokitazawa hall and believed. Yui, you are the reason I'm here.
Yui stood in the front row, her hand pressed to her mouth, tears tracing the corners of her smile.
You gave me water when no one else would. Tonight, I want to give you more than words.
Later, as the last guest departed, Itsuki pulled Yui into the empty gallery where his largest canvas loomed.
I've waited to give you more than a rooftop. Yui, will you build the rest of our life with me?
Yes, I've been waiting since that first glass of water.
A simple silver band caught the museum's soft glow as he slipped it on her finger. Somewhere, a guard smiled. The grand hall had witnessed a different kind of masterpiece. By morning, the engagement and the retrospective dominated every front page. Through the smeared window of a convenience store, a giant billboard with Itsuki's face loomed across the intersection.
That face, it was my ticket to everything, and I threw it away. Now he's everywhere, and I'm nothing.
Starting today, the Itsuki and Yui Foundation will fund artists without connections, without formal training. Real talent deserves a chance.
The press room erupted in applause. The next day's editorial called it a quiet revolution in the art world. There was no one left to answer her phone. No family, no colleagues, just the hollow echo of a gallery that used to be hers. Yui watched him from the front row, still wearing the ring that declared their victory. Tomoko wiped down the same counter for the 5th time, the fluorescent light casting no shadow of the woman she used to be. The Itsuki and Yui Foundation had begun, and no gallery could ever lock out talent again. The Shimokitazawa studio now bore a new sign, Itsuki and Yui Studio, home of the foundation. Their first pupil, a silent teen with paint-stained shoes, hovered near the door.
Come in. There are no critics here, just people who want to see what you can do.
She says the words I needed to hear when I was his age. You should teach more often. The boy's eyes lit up because of you.
He has your stubbornness, that quiet intensity. It'll carry him further than any degree.
Later, when the studio was quiet, Yui brought 2 cups of tea into the office.
Every day she makes my world warmer. I don't deserve her.
He set the cup down, and before he could second guess, he kissed her. Outside, a half-finished canvas rested on an easel, waiting for tomorrow. Inside, they had already painted their masterpiece. Months later, the Itsuki and Yui studio hummed with quiet life, its walls a patchwork of old and new dreams. In a small corner, 3 of Yui's own paintings hung beneath a handwritten card, for the one who believed first.
I used to think I could only watch art. Now I feel it growing from my own fingertips.
Nearby, Itsuki stood before a fresh canvas, the silver band on his ring finger catching the sun.
This ring is the first thing I've signed that I never want to be anonymous.
A dusty orange cat dozed on the shelf between a jar of brushes and a half-empty cup of tea.
He showed up one morning and never left. Smart cat.
Maybe he knew this was a place for stray souls. That's what you gave me, too.
A stray who found her own paintbrush. Look at you now.
Their reflections flickered in the window glass, 2 silhouettes, one brushstroke away from a world they had rebuilt together. On a quiet afternoon, Itsuki laid the last brushstroke on a new canvas. The paint shone like liquid amber.
New Dawn? That's its name. It holds the sunrise at Enoshima, where everything began.
Yui slipped through the door, a cup of tea in each hand, her footsteps soft as the light.
It feels like watching the first morning after a long night.
It's called New Dawn. The sun rises over Enoshima, the place where you first saw me.
In his dark irises, her reflection stood beside the painted shore, inseparable.
Then this canvas is ours. Not just yours. Every brushstroke holds us both.
No signature was needed. The painting was already signed in the quiet history they shared. True art was never about galleries. It was about the one person who believed first. And as dusk painted the studio in amber, that belief hung on the wall for all to see. The Itsuki and Yui studio sign caught the morning light, a promise to the street. Inside, the gallery was bathed in amber, canvases whispering stories. A new pupil's painting hung beside Yui's early works, a lineage of nurtured courage. On the brick wall, a framed wedding photo, two figures hand in hand, rings glinting. The orange cat dozed in a sunbeam, indifferent to the masterpieces around him. Itsuki's brushes rested. Yui's tea had cooled, but the studio never stilled. The foundation had become a quiet revolution, funding those without names. At dusk, the gallery lights flickered on, and the sign outside read, "Always open." True art had finally found its home, not in marble, but in the hearts that built it. And as night fell, the little Shimokitazawa studio continued to paint a world where no talent was ever thrown away. Itsuki stood alone before his easel, the day's last light pooling on the canvas. He glanced at the silver ring on his finger. It no longer felt like a symbol. It felt like home.
I started in the shadows, afraid to sign my name. Now I carry our story on my hand.
From another room, a warm, familiar voice cut through the quiet.
Itsuki? The tea's getting cold, and the cat wants your chair.
A soft laugh escaped him, the kind that erased years.
Coming? Don't let him steal my spot again.
He set the brush down and walked toward the door, leaving the painting behind. The canvas remained, glowing in the dusk, a sunrise that would never need a signature. And as the studio fell silent, the new dawn waited, not for a critic, but for the next heart that needed it. Itsuki found Yui in the kitchen, the tea still steaming on the counter.
The cat didn't steal my chair, did he?
He's too busy dreaming. Come, the tea is still warm.
They stood before the window, the city lights a quiet audience below. In the glass, her lavender hair merged with his silhouette, a single shape held together by intertwined fingers. Behind them, new dawn glowed on the wall, its sunrise frozen in mid-bloom. The painting asked for no signature. The signatures were in the lives it had already changed. Outside, the Shimokitazawa street was quiet, the studio sign still catching stray light. And in that small window, two figures held on, not to a painting, but to each other. Credits, music begins. The dawn would come again, and with it, another artist who needed a door that never locked.